yet. This is fair chance for anyone as for me. Now we're getting you in the force. Sing on such predictions. Know thy place.
We have another question for Caesar.
My liege, what sayest thou upon the welfare of thy magnificent steeds and the steeds of others?
What's thy shade or preference? How wouldst thou bring justice to our town?
Wilt thou consider it my hand?
What say you to the whispered words that honor the force?
Is it in thy wishes to be chief?
A fine idea from a questionable source. Heart the words of this soothsayer. And take this. Calpurnia, peace, hope. Caesar speaks.
Who art thou calling a hoe?
Calpurnia.
Here, my lord. Hark, I have spoken with a man who has words you wish to call on me. For the press oft hear whispered words hidden from thee.
Who calls?
Bid every noise be still. Peace yet again.
Who is in the press that calls on me?
Beware election day.
What man is that?
A soothsayer bids you beware the day of election, I believe. Let me see his face. Fellow, come from the throng. Look upon Caesar.
Beware election day. 'Tis a day of most grievous possibilities. The light shall fade to harden the dark. Perchance good stars and amulets for thine well-being. 'Tis a mere pittance, $50, nothing, absolutely nothing, in comparison to what shall be, of course, a long and illustrious life.
Thou art that, soothsayer. The talk led to me of safety for Caesar needed not. Keep your hawking to the mirrors.
Quite right too, Caesar. Great Caesar. Safety. Ha! You'll be fine. Nay, far better than fine. Quite some time to come to a close. It's time to leave.
Wherefore must we leave?
It's time to part. Now, Julius will doubtless tell thee of his many a triumph of the call of evil some yonder hour. He is not one mortal now. Feels as we do. And hence needs rest.
I will fear the storm, I fear to bring them. I say thou shalt leave while thou stand checked out.
What, Caesar?
No more questions.
Yes, sir.
Thou also, Calpurnia. Thou shalt have leave now. I will be fine.
Caesar, I never feared the darkness, yet now they frighten me. There is one within, besides the things that we have heard and seen. I am most afraid for you. Accompany me home tonight, and remain there tomorrow. 'Tis only the election, and you shall be informed of the outcome.
Yet Caesar shall go forth. These predictions are to the world in general as to Caesar.
Alas, my lord, your wisdom is consumed in confidence. Do not go forth on the morrow. Call it my fear that keeps you in this place. Let me, upon my knee, prevail in this.
Very well. For thy humor I shall summon forth the chariot, follow you home, and remain there tomorrow. Caesar! All hail! Good evening, worthy Caesar. Cassius, I do fear that these worries are all misinterpreted. There is naught to fear by darkness and the crude lies of the soothsayer. Calpurnia's heart doth race only to signify your ascent to greatness, which is sure to come. 'Tis well expounded, Cassius. How foolish these fears do seem now, Calpurnia. You must go for sure. I must speak with Anthony, you had best be gone. I shall venture home alone and return in the morrow too.
Against my better will, I shall relent.
Ah! Caesar! Anthony! What dost thou know of Cassius' young yet I fear him not. As if my name were liable to fear, I do not know the man I should avoid as soon as that spirit passes. The thing is, I believe there's more substance behind his gaze.
I must leave now, but I shall remember. When Caesar says, do this, it is performed.
Brutus! Stay a while. Because I was much on your mind. Stay a while and seek my counsel as you did years ago. Now, my liege, Brutus, wherefore does I use such flattery? That was never used such flattery. Start not now. Each man is a free man. I'm your friend, your brother, and your comrade, not your lord.
As you say, brother, although thou might ask differently of thou as the chief match.
Worry not, dear Brutus. I shall never wrong my friends. Though the scourge that do walk upon this Eden earth, filthing it with their very presence, they, yes, they shall face the wrath of Caesar.
But brother, how canst thou be sure that only the guilty are being charged?
There, Brutus! Wherefore does that question me? What happened to the doe-eyed lad in his first day on the force, looking upon me as if I were the very embodiment of all that is righteous under the eyes of God? That boy grew up. I do see that, Brutus. Unless I find that fear misplaced. The people want me, and why wouldn't they? Did thou not say on thy first day that thy desire for this occupation stemmed from thy wishes to protect the people?
Yet, alas, I fear...
Brutus! Dost thou believe that I may be a tyrant? Hold not your tongue.
Thou art my brother, and my mentor, and knowest me better than anyone alive. Will I not be true to you, true to the wishes of the people?
Very well. Thy reply was my heart, brother. But now seek no more Brutus. I must take your leave. Farewell.
Would I not be true to Caesar? I fear he prides himself too much, and does not pride come before a fall. I fear the day may dawn when I love my country more than my brother.
Ah, Brutus! I believe I heard that voice. Whether this is just murky. Tell me, friend, what is the cause of that unrest? Come now, dost thou not think me true?
I do fear the people choose Caesar for their leader.
Well, then I must think you would not have it so.
I would not, Cassius. They all do well. It troubles me that of the name of honor more than I fear death.
I know the virtue in you, Brutus. But you see, honor is the subject of my story. Does it not trouble you that Caesar had become a god in the eyes of others? Both you and Antony, art thou so naive to think that the people would come to you first?
I have bled for my people. Why would not they confide in me?
I do fear that only when the times are at their gravest will they come to you. But by then, I fear it will be too late.
Thus giving me much to think about. I will see you. I do fear much, Cassius.
If thou dost consider thyself a man of the people, you will meet me on the morn of election day, where we will free the city of all this beast is set free.
We shall see.
Well, Brutus, thou art noble, but I see you might yet see this my way.
He might. 'Tis true. But he is close with Caesar, and he is an honorable man. Would such a man truly turn on that whom he holds closest?
But that is why you might yet see this my way. For would an honorable man truly let the wrong man ascend to hold such power? Caesar doesn't bear me harm, but he loves Brutus. He can be key to the undoing of godlike Caesar. I will tonight, in several hands, in at his window throw, as if they would come from several citizens, tidings to the great opinion that people hold of his name, wherein Caesar was spoken of his trouble, to which Brutus must please attend.
'Tis a wise plan, Cassius. It might lead us to gain our rightful fortunes, instead of that ambitious, corrupt Caesar.
If you should not join us, though, we must act soon. For Brutus has chanced to warn Caesar. Even so, Caesar's fate is certain.
Portia, what mean you to come to the station? Wherefore is it now? It is not very well thus to commit yourself to the labours of this hour.
Nor is it early for you. I have seen thy mountain visage this night. You walk about, musing and sighing, with thine altar cross, and now you stare upon me with ungentle looks. Brutus, my dear lord, make me acquainted with your cause of grief.
I was engaged in my thoughts. That is all. Now,
Brutus is wise, and has in the past sought counsel from others, sometimes from me. Why not now, my lord? Art thou engaged in ways other than your work?
Portia, such cheek is not becoming of you. Have I ever given you cause to doubt my loyalty? From whence come these doubts?
I simply voice my concerns.
Portia, you question my lack of counsel. In my words and manners, hence listen. I was talking to the Honorable Cassius. We shall attempt to lay at rest the unrest of my conscience. Now that is all. Return to bed. Let no doubts come in.
Alas, I shall leave you, as you say you will, my lord. But first, I ask thee to think on mine humble words, and know, I pray that you will do what is right by your honor, to which all the people know. For I know that thou could never feel right if you were not an honorable man.
The morrow has come and brought me with ill thoughts. I have received letters speaking of Caesar's corruption. Perhaps Cassius spoke truly.
Was it truly wise to tell Brutus of our plans?
Worry not. He will come. That man is too much on.
Brutus. Cassius, I have come.
And in good time. Caesar has imprisoned so many unfairly. The people are afeard of his name and dare not vote against it. He will win and continue to ravage our city.
It's true, my own brother. He's a victim of Caesar's so-called justice. Did he ever listen to any words of innocence that my brother said? Nay!
'Tis the truth. Caesar imprisoned in exchange for money. Such corruption.
Indeed, and tonight he will pay for his crimes.
But Cassius, every dying man is given one last question. Shouldn't we give Caesar one last chance?
To the man who unfairly imprisoned my brother? Never!
Hold thy tongue, sinner. Perhaps there is wisdom in his words.
What if by chance Julius Caesar releases my brother and ruins my plans?
Well, has he released Publius Simba yet?
Well, no.
Then he will not do so now. There is wisdom in your words, Brutus, and it shall be done. When the stars do hang low upon the skies, wilt we come upon Caesar? And if he will free Publius Simba, then he will be saved. But if he will not, then we will slay this servant, afford his chance to hatch.
'Tis no more than I ask for. I will stand by you, Caesar.
You there. Come hither, fellow. When is it o'clock? Why, my fair lady, 'tis the 19th hour of Shakespeare Day. Where am I going? It's almost nightfall. Why, I venture forth to the station to see mighty Caesar pass. I must go, but tell me, has my husband Brutus yet come past? I have waited, but he has not yet returned. Art thou returned from the elections, or doth he venture forth? Oh, I venture forth to see mighty Caesar. Thou hast a suit to Caesar, hast thou? Why, yes. What do you think that I do? I shall ask him to befriend himself, see? Why? Knows any harm intended towards him? Well, not that I know, but much that I fear may chance. I must go then.
Well there, fellow. Election day has come, and I, famed Caesar, constant as a northern star, whose true fixed and resting quality there is no fellow in the firmament, do still stand as stronger than ever.
Why, mighty Caesar? The election day has come, but it has not yet gone. Why, I still, an amulet, still. Half price for my favorite leader, of course.
Leave. Fight a matter just really fuller pocket and an emptier head.
Most high, most mighty, most puissant Caesar, I, a sinner, throw before thy throne a humble heart, and beg for the freedom of my punished brother.
I must prevent these, sinner. These couchings and these lowly courtesies might fire the blood of ordinary men, and turn preordinance and first decree into the law of children. Be not fond to believe that Caesar bears such rebel blood that will be thought from the true flavor that was melted fools. Thy brother by decree is in prison. If thou dost bend and pray and fawn for him, I will spurn thee like a cur out of my way, because no, Caesar doth not wrong, nor without cause will he be satisfied. My life as a leader might have just been birthed, yet I stand by my decision made when I was but an officer.
But would no voice other than mine sound ever sweeter in mighty Caesar's ear for the appealing of my punished brother?
Brutus,
Caesar, I kneel, but not in flattery. Desire thee that through this ember may have immediate freedom of repeal.
Brutus, what is this?
Pardon, great Caesar. Caesar, pardon.
close to thy foot thou castest fall, to beg for the enfranchisement of sinner's brother Publius Sim.
Doth not Brutus bootless kneel?
Pardon, great Caesar, but perhaps thy Catholic citizens only goes as far as thy words. Publius Sim has not sinned. Set him free if thou canst.
Caius Cassius, thou dost question my authority. Keep it in good faith that sinners' brothers at home in prison and shall remain so until the sentence is served.
Thou dost not do right by sinners.
Speak not, Caesar, for this is not your cause.
Speak then, hands from me!
Do it, Brutus! Shoot him! Kill him now! And two roots.
Freedom, liberty, tyranny is dead. Run out, cry, proclaim it about the streets. Be not hasty. The Caesar was loved by many. For now, we retire home to clean our weapons and remove all traces of this murder. Come, Brutus.
Someone help! The great Julius Caesar has been murdered. Oh, officer, help!
Is someone coming to the office this late hour? I should hide and see who it is.
I told you, Casca. This is empty as thine brain seems at times. Now give me thy weapons. We must remove all traces of this murder.
But do we not do this for the good of our fair city? There's no honor in staying silent.
Brutus, thou art naive. Who will understand our cause? It is better to stay silent and reap the benefits.
There's no honor in that.
You will understand in time. Come, friends. We must hie home, finding this chance to question our being here. Come along.
Caesar truly died. There's no time for tears. I must gather evidence, because I fear that Cassius will never let this come to light. But Brutus, I can only live now in uncertain hope that Brutus will speak the truth and that chaos will not ensue.
Oh, Brutus. Have you heard of the murder of Julius Caesar? It is a gross injustice to a fine leader.
Can't you think of the reason of the so-called crime? Can't Caesar be the villain? Or perhaps your blood's all for letting this to happen?
Speak to me not in tongues,
and I will leave with haste.
Casca, come along. I do fear our purpose may be discovered.
Peace, oh! Someone might have listened.
Brutus, what shall be done? How will we gain a rightful profit? If our role in Caesar's murder be known, I should never turn back. I would rather slay myself.
Let me tell you, Cassius, you yourself are much condemned to desire power and riches not belonging to you.
I say unto thee, thou knowest that it is Brutus who says this. Oh, by the gods, this speech or else shall last.
Dost thou threaten me? Dost thou forget that Julius Caesar surely pleads for justice' sake?
Antony,
Cassius, Brutus, Casca, Mark Antony, oil thou here. For the funeral, wouldst thou not speak for our leader and his widow? Aye, this is my duty. Well, that's all. But for a moment there, it seemed like thine party seemed fleetingly guilty. One might wonder what for. We shall be at the funeral. Aye, we shall. I do fear this dress. It does make my mind feel most strange. Like a knife balanced upon an edge. Listen all to the words of noble Brutus, who will wipe the tears from our hearts by his own. Dear friends, indeed I speak, but in confession, I have killed Caesar. I have killed Caesar, but I shall love him until my dying breath. If any in this assembly, any dear friends of Caesar, to him I say that Brutus' love was no less than his. And if that friend demand why Brutus rose against Caesar, this is mine answer. Snub thou Caesar less, such justice more. As Caesar loved me, I weep for him. As Caesar was fortunate, I rejoice in it. As Caesar was valiant, I honor him. And as Caesar was corrupt, I slew him. There's tears for his love, honor for his valor, joy for his fortune, and death for his ambition. And therefore I have killed Caesar. Yet I grieve for the loss of the great police leader. I ruin has come to this. But I shall never give myself cause to regret my actions. I love this country far too much to do so. Now I shall await my verdict along with Cassius, who I'm afraid entered his bloody back for the wrong reasons. Today I speak honorably when I say that Caesar died for the good of all.
Methinks there's much reason in his sayings.
Bless Brutus, who seems Caesar as a tyrant he was.
Aye, if there be anyone stirred at this funeral, go to be Brutus, not selfish Caesar.
Gentle citizens,
Pray best you speak no harm of Brutus here.
Be so, let us hear him.
silence, my friends, please, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar. The evil that men do is after them. The good is often interred with their bones. Let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus hath told you that Caesar was ambitious, that he was corrupt. If it were so, it was a grievous fault, and grievously did Caesar answer. Here I come, to speak in Caesar's funeral. For he was my friend, faithful and just to me. Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. He had brought many guilty men to justice for the risk of his very own life. But did this in Caesar seem ambitious? When the poor have cried, Caesar had wept. Ambition should be made of sterner stuff. Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and sure, Brutus is an honorable man. But you all did love him once, not without cause. What cause withal than to mourn for him? O judge, thou art fed to brutish beasts, and men have lost their reason. Bear with me, for my heart is still there in the coffin of Caesar, and I must pause till it comes back to me. But then, sire, who would be to fear, the murderer or the murdered? That is for each man to decide for their own. But let it be known, both Caesar and Brutus were honorable men. And Caesar loved us all, so it was in his will.
We'll hear the will. Read it, Mark Anthony.
All his lands and fortunes, just left them to thyself. Common pleasures, walk abroad and recreate yourselves.
O noble Caesar, curse that traitorous Brutus!
Yet he was no corrupt monster. Have any of you ever been wronged by Brutus?
Nay, never.
Yet you still think he's corrupt.
It was in good faith. Where are Brutus now?
Where are those traitors, villains?
Where's Casca? Cassius was found.
We will be revenged.
What about Casca, Brutus, and that sinner?
I sought to escape. Dear Antony, forgive me for questioning the goodness of Caesar, but let us make haste and avenge his immortal spirit.
fickle, such changeable hearts. First I loved Caesar.
Caesar again. Who will the next be? Death brings unto itself misery, like moths to a light. And Caesar was an honorable, just man, but so was Brutus. For the fickle hearts of men try to rob them of even that. And now look upon the evil's been done. Yet still, thou shalt all remember, these were honorable men. No